Hi, my name is Jess and this is my Flosstube channel, Little Waipiku. And it's been a moment. I haven't filmed a video, I think it was January. I haven't gone back to watch it, but I believe it's been a couple of months and things have changed. From my last video, I believe I announced then that I was due to, I had a baby boy on the way and he is now here. So currently I'm filming this video, I'm filming it downstairs in our house. So because our upstairs room that I used to film in has now become a bit of a dumping ground in my partner's office, and he is currently napping in the pram. So I don't know whether I'll get this video all filmed in one go, but we will see how we can go. But if you can hear the hum of white noise in the background, and also it's just started torrential raining here in Auckland, then that's your background noise you get to enjoy today. So yeah, so I had a baby boy Fergus. He was born in the first week or so of May. He was born, was really comfy inside. So he was born at 41 weeks and 5 days. So I had to get induced to give him a wriggle on. And when he came out quick and fast, which was great in that sense. And he's been doing really well. So he is 7 weeks old, absolutely thriving. Big baby, 4.4 kgs at birth, big head, 38 centimeters. Now he's, sitting at, I think, like 91 percentile for his height and weight. So at least he's in proportion, and he's sitting at 98 percentile for his head size. So already moving into the hats that, mum's knitting hats now that are sort of 6 months plus, so that we can, they stay on his head. But no, it's been going, the wild ride of the fourth trimester, I suppose you could say. You always say it's been fantastic and everything's been going brilliantly, which they have, but of course it's also been sleep deprived, hormonal changes, everything's adapting. So we're just sort of going with the flow, and thought I would take the opportunity today while he's having a nap to film a video and a bit of an update. Not a whole lot of stitching has been happening, but there are a few things since I filmed in January, so I thought I'd share those and we'll get into it from there. So let's see, I've got a pile of things next to me. I'm not as organized as I normally am because I thought he's just gone down. Well, he actually went down about 40 minutes ago. So we're riding a really fine line of when he's going to wake up, but we'll see how we get on. So I thought I'd grab some things, grab the iron, get it underway, put the camera up, and let's just roll with it and see how we get on. So I want to share, I guess, a couple of finishes I've done since my last video. One is actually I gifted it to my midwife. So in New Zealand, when you're pregnant, you find what they call like a lead maternity carer, so your lead midwife or your doctor or an obstetrician, who you decide to go with, and they stay with you throughout your pregnancy journey, so generally like 6 weeks through to birth, and then they look after you for sort of 6 weeks prior to baby being born, and then you move on to another health service that then that then catches up with you and baby for, I guess, until they go to school. So this was a 5-year period at sort of, every few months along the way. So I decided for a gift for her, I would do a little cross-stitch design for her. So I have gifted it. So I'll put a picture of it here. So this is a design I just found on Etsy. I was looking at sort of mother and child designs. The Etsy owner was called EvasDesignsBg. I'll put the link and details below. But yeah, really beautiful, simple pattern with a mixture of cross stitch and some back stitch as well. And yeah, love how it looks. I did this before he was born, so when I still had a lot more time to stitch. And I also have stitched it twice now because my sister had her baby boy 4 weeks after me. So I've done one for her to give to her midwife. So really beautiful design. I did it on 28 count Brittany even weave in Springfield sage. And yeah, so I framed it in just a frame I had in my cupboard because that's how, it rolls when you don't really have time to go to the shop or do anything too fancy. And I think it looks great and she loves it. So yeah, really beautiful gift. It's always tricky to know what to give midwives. Of course, they get paid by the government, so there's no cost in New Zealand for birthing a child, and that whole, everything's covered, which I know is completely different as well to some places overseas. But it's just nice to give like a token of appreciation because they do a lot, just sort of emotionally supporting you throughout the journey and, checking in, and you see them every month up until about, 6 months of your pregnancy, and then you see them every fortnight, and then you see them every week, and then it becomes every few days, and then you're like, when am I going to give birth? Then they come to the birth, and then you see them 6 weeks after, every few days and every few weeks after 6 weeks onwards. So you do form quite a relationship, and then it kind of ends, and then you don't see them again. So it's a bit bizarre, but no, she was fantastic. So I'm glad to be able to gift this to her. My other design I think I started on, or the other project I started on, I think when I actually posted my last video, so I think it was in January, was a collection of cross-stitch pieces. They're a designer on Etsy, Australian designer called Crafty like a fox, and she does beautiful designs of like pairs of animals together. They're really cute, and I've stitched quite a few of them in the past, and then I thought I was trying to decide what kind of stitching to do for his nursery or his bedroom, and thought these would be quite cute. And I love any stitching that's done on the Petite point dotty spotty linen, so I did 4 of these. So I've got lions, so they're nice and cute, and then after the lions I then stitched the tigers, tigers with their little fireworks around them. And then after the tigers, I thought, you know, I was on a roll then, so we thought we'll do the bears. So there's the bears. And then I love the, you know, lion, tigers and bears, and then oh my. So I got in touch with her, and she does some alphabets as well. So she drafted me up an oh my pattern with the letters, and I used the sort of corresponding colors from the, just picked some colors from the other designs, and then I added the balloons and the fireworks and the little stars on it as well. So I guess it's reading backwards, but yeah, so they hang, I'll put a picture of where they are here on the wall. So at the moment, like he's not sleeping in his nursery, he's in our room with us. Well, they keep referring it to his room, forgetting that we also sleep in that room as well. But these will look super cute with the sort of colors we've gone with, and we've gone for sort of like a rough animal theme. And there's a few more, yeah, we need to sort of get it set up properly as a nursery type space, but that will happen once he's once he's a few months older and we decide he can move on to his own room and have his own space. But yeah, they look great, and I love just a nice simple finish and some nice, I got some new embroidery hoops, so they looked all nice and the same, and then just did like a basic gather stitch, so they're just going on the wall. So again, nice and simple. I was heavily pregnant, and that's what I had the energy to do. So those are my 2, I guess, fully finished objects that I've got to finish to show today. I've got a couple of finishes as well. A few of them I have posted about on my Instagram. So I've done a few occasional posts since I've sort of been off Flosstube. But the first finish I'm going to share is by, not sure where I was at last time I posted a video, but this is where I'm at now. It was finished now. So this is by Kyoko Maruoka, who's a Japanese designer. So I've got a few of her designs to show today, and it's Romeo and Juliet. So that is stitched on Bee's Knees by Seraphim in a 32 count. And I love, like, she just does the most amazing colors, and the fill-in, which is, you know, time consuming but looks fantastic, and that sort of heavy stitching, you know, down the bottom of Juliet's balcony. So last year when we went to Europe, we did manage to visit Juliet's balcony as well, which was very cool, and sort of inspired me to continue with this design and get it finished. So I need to do something with this now. But yeah, I'll just do another wee close-up. So it looks great. Love this fabric as well. So that kind of texture without being too much. Yeah. And then I have also finished another one since my last video, which is by my other favorite designer, Lindy Stitches. Stephanie, and this is the Emo Birds. So that one there is done on a fox and rabbit linen, the Beetroot, which is just the most amazing color. So when I saw that, I thought this would be perfect to stitch this up on. And I did use the Whisper thread for the fluffy bits. I haven't really fluffed them up. I just gave it a bit of an iron, so probably sitting a bit flat. But again, need to frame this and do something with that one. I can see in the background there's the cat up there from Lindy Stitches, and there's a bit of cross stitch in the background, and my yellow submarine featuring the yellow submarine Lego, and a few others behind me as well on a messy shelf. But no, love that one. I think I will frame it up, maybe put it on display in October, sort of for Halloween. And then I have got another finish. So this is one of my bigger finishes that I promised myself. I think I said I'd finish it before he was born, but I finished it, I think, just after he was born. I haven't had a lot of time for cross stitch, surprisingly. So, you know, as a baby, their naps are all over the show. Sometimes he'll nap for 10 minutes, sometimes he'll nap for 2 hours, and you just don't know what he's going to do, and you're out and about, and it's all over the show a bit. In the evenings, sometimes he'll go down as early as sort of 7:30 and sleep for a good few hours before he might wake, and sometimes he's slept for a very long time before he wakes, which is fantastic. And then, you know, the last few nights he's not really been going to sleep until like 10 o'clock. So then it's, you know, by the time you feel like you spend the whole evening settling a baby, and then you sit down, and then it's, you just want to go to bed. So I just go to sleep when he goes to sleep, because I need my sleep. But I've had a few more moments lately. I've got some family that's been staying, which has been great, and just kind of helping, like definitely had a lot of help in terms of meals and cleaning and that side, which has been amazing. So I can just sort of focus on him and what he needs, and you know, my partner can also just focus on getting back into work and the whole juggle. And I'm sure, as everyone says, it does get easier in the sense that there is more of a routine that forms. But anyhow, so I did manage to finish this one since he was born. So this is another Kyoko Maruoka piece, which is Afternoon of a Faun, and this is one of the pieces that I've seen forever posted online. It used to be, it's available from oh god, on top of my head, Crafty, the online shop that only sold it as a kit, and then they released it. I posted a few videos last year that they released them as PDFs, so that is now finished. Yeah, really like big design, I guess, but like lots of small motifs, so you can slowly sort of like knock off small parts and feel like you've got little finishes on the go. This one is on the Fox and Rabbit Eucalyptus, which is probably my favorite fabric in terms of color and everything. I love it. But yeah, so I don't know kind of what my favorite motif is. Let me know if you have a favorite motif. I really love I kind of love the trees, and I do love that kind of that sort of leopard. I think it's a leopard under the tree and the little bird. And then you have to love the sloth hanging from the tree there. Like, who doesn't love a sloth? So yeah, really happy with how that one's finished. This one I'm tempted to look at getting it framed professionally. I think it'd be nice to have like framed, I guess, properly, as opposed to my framing and have it hanging up somewhere. So that's just still sitting in a pile to figure out what to do next. But yeah, love this one. I mean, I'd equally be happy like turning it into a bag or something and having it around me all the time, but not sure yet. So we'll figure that out. It will go into a pile. It'll probably get seen to in like 5 years time. As it happens. So those are my 3 finishes. I've got a couple of whips that I'm working on. One is one that's very, very close to a finish. So this is one I've been working on for quite a while. It's a Buena Pieza. It's the Rainbow Garden, and this is on 14 count black Aida. So I've literally completely finished it. Well, all the stitching actually is finished, to be fair. The only part I haven't finished is that, so I decided that as a point of difference, I would stitch the little like ghosts, and they're stitched in, well, I'd use the Mill Hill glow in the dark beads, and same for the, yeah, just the ghosts. I didn't do the skulls. So basically all I have to finish, so I've got those all done, and there's just one missing. There's a spot down there, 2 spots at the bottom missing, they're ghosts. But I went to the shop Ribbon Rose yesterday, and unfortunately they didn't have any of the glow duck beads, so I'll have to order them from another New Zealand online supplier. So I'll probably do that today and have those up here next week or so, and then this will be finished not soon after that. And I think I will just look at maybe stretching it onto a canvas and having that on display. Summer is up. I love the colors. I worked on this a lot in my last few weeks of pregnancy. Yeah, I had, by the time I finished work, I think I had like 3 weeks off work before my due date, and then another week and a half. So it's like a month of just kind of feeling sorry for yourself, in the sense that it was hot and bothered, and I was still pregnant, and he wasn't coming anytime soon. So I got lots of this done. I watched and binge watched a whole lot of TV. And it's a nice sort of project to slowly, you can see it slowly start to come together. It feels like it takes forever, but you slowly sort of chip off each section as you go. So that's pretty much done, very close. And I'm glad to have that finished, because it's a big piece. I love her other designs, but I think I might, if I try another one, I think I'll do one of the smaller rounds, because this has been on the go for, I don't know when I started it, months, maybe even last year sometime, not sure. So I've got that one on the go. The other project I'm kind of working on at the moment, I'm kind of, like, I've only got 3 whips in total in my rotation. This one I started the other week. I have sort of managed stitching with him in a front pack. So I've got a nice, really soft wrap front pack that if he goes and he generally falls asleep, and he can stay asleep for like 2 hours or so. And sometimes he lets me sit down while I'm wearing the front pack, which means I can do some stitching. And then sometimes I have to stand and walk around and bump it and all those sort of things to keep him happy. But if I can stitch down, I'll do some stitching. So this is Merry Bird Santa by Lindy Stitches, and this one I'm also stitching on the Eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit. So I've just made a sort of start on his bed today. But yeah, and then so what I'm planning to do, I'll put a picture of the actual design pattern here. So my thoughts were, I've kind of done a lot of the like the outline and then a lot of the fill-ins so that I don't have to have my phone and kind of look at the pattern and see what's next. So my plan is to kind of stitch the around sides of his beard and the text, and then I'll just be doing all the fill-in from there of the main bulk of the sort of white beard section, and then I can do that while, you know, I don't have to, just have to have the thread and can make it nice and easy rather than try to change colors and everything else all the time. So that's been a nice stitch to do with Fergus in the front back. And yeah, so I kind of started out thinking, well, it's July next month, like the Jolly July Christmas stitching, and thought if I get a head start, I might get a finish. So see how that goes. I've got one more project that I'm working on, which is not on the couch. I'm not gonna bother pausing it and coming back, so bear with me for a moment. There we go. So this is one that I started, before he was born as well, I think as well. It's so it's not ironed, but it's the Eleanor Rigby by Blackbird Designs, and that's sort of as far as I've got at the moment. This one's using the variegated gentle art threads, which I have here. So nice, like the mottled greys and yeah, the darker tones. So I haven't really done any more on this. I've kind of stitched it for a bit, and then I decided I needed something more colourful. So I think that's when I finished off the afternoon of a fawn instead, and that's when then I decided to do the Santa just for something more bright. But yeah, we'll get this finished. Maybe once I finish Santa, I'll come back and make some progress on this. But yeah, nice simple design, the soft greys, and I think it'll look great once it's done. And might gift that onto someone that's a Beatles fan, or I might pop it up there with the Blackbird's Yellow Submarine, and maybe eventually find my way to the other patterns or do some swaps with people to get hold of the other designs to stitch the set of the full Beatles set that they released. So those are my projects that I've been working on. Otherwise, I have got absolutely no haul. I've done absolutely no purchases. I went to Ribbon and Rose, which is a like fantastic Auckland. I like to say they're a bit of a haberdashery everything store now. So they're like cross stitch supplies, but then they've got like wool, amazing selection of quilting fabrics. They've got they've opened a new shop that's 3 levels, and I didn't even go to the level that had the art supplies on it. So they do a lot of like paper craft and paints and everything else now as well. I went with my mum's was up, so we went to find some fabric for a quilt, and I had Fergus, and he wasn't very happy in his pram, so I ended up having to cradle hold while he slept around, which makes it very hard to shop when you've got 2 hands. So it's a good way to save money, is by carrying a baby, I suppose. But they have online shopping, and I'm sure me and Fergus will be doing another trip back there soon to pick up some goodies. So yeah, so I haven't really I've been like really tuned out of Flosstube, so I haven't really watched any videos for the last few months. I haven't really been following any hashtags on Instagram or seeing any releases at Nashville or anything like, you know, that sort of side. I've just been a bit, I was going to say touched out, but not really, just a bit focused on from other major changes in life, and just sort of, yeah, coming to grips with that, and then slowly sort of thought I'd film today to kind of get back to a bit of a, I don't want to say sense of normality, because there's nothing that hasn't been normal, but it's just that kind of to, yeah, share something creative and get back into that sort of creative mindset again, and doing a bit of filming because I do enjoy doing it. And yeah, you find that when you have a baby, you've got to then kind of refine yourself again. So that's what I'm here for. So slowly I'll start probably picking up some new projects, just finding the balance of time and what's going on. I do have some plans to do some more sewing. I don't think I have it down here, so maybe I'll show you next time. Yeah, made him a quilt, which is lovely, and then getting sort of those monthly progress photos of him lying on the quilt, which is really cool to see how quickly he's growing, and have some other sort of sewing projects in mind, you know, of what can make him. If anyone's got any really cool, ideally just like plain cotton baby pattern ideas for clothing, then send them through, or let me know some good, like, you know, online PDF Etsy designers. I love sewing kids clothes. I used to sew like a lot of girls dresses and like that sort of clothing, which there's just not as many options I find for boys in terms of handmade clothing that isn't like a jersey, like a cotton knit. I haven't really mastered how to sew in sort of knitted fabrics or stretchy fabrics, so otherwise he's going to get a selection of just like plain cotton trousers type pants to wear in the summer, or shorts. and we'll go from there. But now I'm still rambling a little bit. So thank you very much for tuning in. It was a relatively quick video, but he's still asleep, which is a win. So I'll get this uploaded and posted online. It's been nice to sort of tune in with you all and catch up. I will endeavour to sort of catch up on some Flosstube videos over the next few weeks. Yeah, I've got plenty of time when I'm feeding him to watch things online, but I have to admit I've just been kind of resorting back to watching a lot of like the David Attenborough, like the Our Planet, sort of those sort of shows on Netflix, because it's just a nice background show when you're trying to feed a baby and trying to get them latched on and everything like that, to not have to feel like you're missing something on TV. I tried to watch a more serious drama show the other day, and that was just not working for either of us. So I've just been kind of resorting to probably the nature documentaries or the trashy TV that I can get in now before he is able to soak in all the trashiness of some of that TV shows that then he won't be able to watch. But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I feel like I'm rabbiting on about him now. But no, love him so much. And it's been, an amazing few months, and I hope you're all doing well as well. I hope I know a lot of you enjoying summer. Like I said before, it's torrential rain here in Auckland, but I'll give you a wee sneak peek of my washing. But now it's sunshine outside, so that's what life is like in Auckland. It torrential rains 1 minute and then beautiful sunshine the next, so you just don't know what you're going to get. But we'll, enjoying being at home, enjoying just soaking it all in, which is amazing. So I will stop rabbiting on now and let you get on with your day. But I hope all is well. Feel free to drop me a message. I am sort of posting on Instagram, so happy to chat with anyone on there as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.